All right, so I have the cover nice and dry. There's the middle. And I'm going to add, I'm going to wait, but I think I'm going to wait till I get my papers ready. I think I'm going to add this on here. I think that'd be super cute. I think that's my plan. All right, let's take a look at the papers. I went in my stash and I grabbed a bunch of things. So I have an envelope and the dog is chasing toys. Hold on. All right, we'll try this again. I have my Easter journal pages from the Easter kit and some of this paper, but it's not graph paper, but anyway, I have some of this. I thought these bunnies were so cute from an Ideals magazine. Aren't they adorable? This was from one of the flow journals. And some papers from when Denise and I did gel printing. And some pink and a blue one. Just makes me giggle. And then another spring-like, it says summer, but page. Some birds. I didn't find anything super bunny and Eastery, so I have some coffee dyed paper, coloring book page. These are from, gosh, I think last year, Christmas. My kids helped me dye paper with, what's called it, whipped cream, with shaving cream and some dye. And I have like this funny, the residue from the shaving cream. And some more of my very special gel prints. Coffee dyed paper, and then several different pages of scrapbook paper that I thought looked Eastery and fun. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut my pages, and I'll be back. Okay, my pages are trimmed and ready. I've put them in piles. So I have my scrapbook paper and my book pages, etc. And I'm thinking I'm going to make 4 signatures. I think that'll work, 4. So I have 50-ish pages, so I can put about 12 pages per. So let's see if that gets a little too crazy. All right, I'm gonna use this to start off my first signature. Okay, so I am recording a voiceover for this part because I just started doing the pages, but I wasn't really talking about what I was thinking while I was putting the pages together, and I thought maybe that might help folks who are newer to junk journaling. So when I am putting a signature together, I'm kind of looking at, for this situation with the book pages, you'll see here in a second I flip back to the front, and I was looking at the colors on the page, and I wanted something that kind of would coordinate with the colors. So right here, when I open this up, there's some greens and that brownish orangey color, and I thought I needed something to kind of break up the 2 book pages, you know, to kind of alternate with some other pages in the book. And some other things I look at, if I do happen to have a page that is all white, or like nothing on it, like a coffee dyed paper, I will add something that has text or pattern on it. So here I'm back to the first page, and this is where I thought, okay, I'll use this carrot page from the journal kit, because it doesn't match, but it has greens and oranges, kind of like the book does. And then I also wanted to add more pages. I ended up taking a few pages out because it was a really big amount of pages for the signature. So I think I ended up between 9 and 10 pages per signature. And even now, I'm looking at the journal and it's really, really big. So I could have probably gone with less pages and thinking about how it's going to look once it's embellished. So this journal is going to be gigantic. But yeah, so here is an example. I have a blank page and I wanted to add some color, so that's where I popped in the cutoff from the scrapbook paper. And then I kind of take another look and see if there's anything that kind of sticks out where I'm like, that doesn't look right or feel right. And then I'll switch it up. And it usually gets changed multiple times before it's sewn into the journal. There's always some changing and adding and switching. And so then this is going to end up being the center signature. But again, I don't have it recorded, but I did take several pages out. And a lot of the pages I took out were the ideals magazine pages, like the one that I showed you that had summer. And then I think that green one that's right in the middle. I just didn't feel that it had the same kind of bright flow. So yeah, I thought maybe hopefully this was helpful to kind of see my thought process with picking and organizing pages. So this is the first signature. And I have this one, and then this one, and then this one. So I'm gonna have to trim some of my pages. This one down. Okay, my pages I put in, and then I've done some gluing and stitching from the last few clips, I think. So these are ready to go. And I had these fun pom-poms that I bought, oh gosh, a while ago. And I thought they were cute. And then I put pom-poms here and then some lace. And now we're ready to sew the signatures in, and then I think after that we'll decorate. Sometimes I decorate before I sew the signatures in, but I think this will be okay too. So first, okay, now if I were to choose a weakness for myself when it comes to junk journals, this is it, because it involves measuring, and that it has numbers. That's not my thing. So I have like 2 versions of my little template here, and if you are a measurer and a math person, this is probably right up your alley. But here is one version, and I measured my lines. And then I'll show you how a very non-math way of getting these dots here for my template. I fold it in half, and then I take it back out, and then I kind of smush it so it's in thirds. And then I take this and then I fold this part in half. So then I have my one from folding it in half, my part for the thirds. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. All right. That's that one. And then I have this one that I did the same thing, but I feel like it's not quite right still. So then here is another way that if I feel that I'm just not getting the dots where I want them, you know, for my signatures to go, then I don't know if I'm going to be able to show on camera, but I'm going to kind of position my signatures in my journal, kind of, you know, stand them up how I want them visually, you know, how I think they'll be, and if it looks like they'll be too crowded or what have you. So I kind of do something like that. And then I take my piece. Oh, this is too big. All right, let me cut it down. I'll be right back. Okay, so then now I'm going to line these kind of back up again. And then this is just a tad bit smaller than the outside of the book, right? So I can kind of slide it in. And then I take a pen or something to mark with, and I'm going to put dots where, here, let me mark them and then I'll show you. See if I can do it without moving. So I put dots. I'll see that one moved. Where the bottom of the signatures are. And then you can kind of look and say, eyeball it and say, okay, that's, you know, too far this way or that way. So that's another way of doing it if the math is just not working for you. But when I look at it this way, see, it's pretty close. Like I really could just use the one I measured. So that's not bad. And then let's just for fun, see what this one looks like. Yeah, so it's pretty close, really. These are pretty close. So if you want to measure it, and then the other nice thing, if you want to measure it, that's one way. If you want to do what I showed you with the dots, that's another way. And then if you have the Tim Holtz ruler, the other way is to take the 0 and put it in the middle. And then you can go in equal amounts to your middle. Okay, I don't know if I just confused you or if I made it like, oh, okay. But for me, it's still, and how long have I been making journals? For a while. And it's still the thing that gets me every time. Maybe not every time, but a lot of the times. Okay. And when there's like 4 signatures, then I'm just making sure this fits in here. Okay. So now let's get these in here. And then I'm going to mark top just to double check. I don't always mark top, and I should. And then I'm going to get out my pokey tool and I'll use white. This is not my favorite. It breaks really easy, but we'll see how it goes. And then I also have my book that I poke my holes into. And another thing I just thought of is we might want to do buttons on the outside. So let me go find some cute buttons. I'll be right back. Okay, I have some buttons picked out and my items are out ready to go. And then let's measure some of the string. And then we can poke our holes in our book. All right, so we have that at the top. And then I'm just gonna poke holes where my circles are. so that is ready. And now we'll start with the fourth, the last signature. I'm just gonna kind of take a look, move things where I want them to go. Like this will move up a little bit. This will move up. All right, well, it looks good. Find the center. I'm gonna bend this one. I moved it around a lot. I'm going to take another look. And then we can clip this on. And then clip on the other side. And then the other thing, make sure that this is up. Yep, okay. A lot of these papers, they are not, it doesn't necessarily matter. But the birds, it did. All right, so, oops, I moved it. There we go. Okay, so that's nice and in there. All right, so now, we're going to do the same thing. Put the holes in the signature. Pretty good. And then let's go ahead and sew this guy in. Alright, to sew in the signatures, I start in the center and I go from the inside of the journal to the outside. And then this is when you add your buttons on. And I like to have them go kind of weave through the buttonholes so that they lay nice and flat. And you can decide, do you want one button or do you want two? And then I went with two for every kind of loop that goes to the back. And it takes a lot of fidgeting. You have to like kind of reposition your thread and your buttons. And then you go to the next hole up from the center. So the second one from the top. And then you're going to go to the top hole and then go back out to the outside of the spine. And then you're going to add two more buttons or one. See, I'm constantly fidgeting because you also don't want to lose that string that is left there. So there's a lot of fidgeting and moving things around. And then you add two more buttons. And then you go back through the second to the top hole. Or fidgeting with that button to not want to stay. Right, so and then you skip the middle hole and go to the second to the bottom. But the way I'm holding the book, it looks like the top. You add two more buttons. And then go back through, that would be the bottom hole. And then back out the back of the spine again, two more buttons, and then you're gonna end up by going through the middle hole again. So then both of your strings will be in the middle position, which makes it really easy to tie your knot. There we go. Now we tighten it up. take one string and I put it under one side and then on the other side, and I tie my knot around the string. That kind of helps keep it all down. And then we'll do a double knot. And trim this off, leave it long enough to add something if we want later. And there it is. Cute. All right, I'm gonna go on to the next one. Okay, so here is the completed spine with all the cute little buttons. I love how that turned out. You'll notice if you're watching that some of these have changed. I had 2 strings break on me. So off camera I fixed them and then I kind of rearranged my strings. One of them broke because I tried flipping a button that I thought needed to go the other way and the string broke, and then the other one I pulled and it broke. So those are all fixed. I think it looks pretty cute. And here are all the pages. I think they look pretty fun. Look fun. All right, so next time we will decorate. We have lots of 5 days of Easter embellishments to put in the journal, and then we'll see what else we want to add, but it's looking really cute. And then we'll decide, do we want to put buttons on the bottom of these strings or metal charms? I'm not sure. But for now, here we are. Super cute. I love it. All right, thanks so much for, oh, one other thing. Yesterday I sent out a freebie in the newsletter. It is a spring, not necessarily Easter, it's a spring freebie. So I will put the information below if you're not part of the newsletter, so you can grab that freebie. There's also a coupon code for my Etsy store. So yeah, I sent that out yesterday. So if you are on the newsletter, make sure you check your junk mail and your spam folders and see if it's there. All right, I hope you have a wonderfully crafty day. We'll be back Friday to decorate. All right, bye-bye.